Howdy everybody, good to see you. I had been holding out hope for the last couple days that I'd be able to come to you today with a crop scouting video, be out in the field with the iPad and looking at different things that the planter was mapping, showing you spacing, showing you singulation, showing you different errors that showed up on the iPad and what they look like in real life once the corn plants are popping up out of the ground. But it's been either raining or super windy the last week and a half. In fact, earlier today I tried to make a little video standing out in the field showing you how wet it is and explaining why I haven't been able to do the crop scouting video yet, and you really couldn't even hear me over the wind. Take some seeds and show you roots, and try to show you some spacing and explain to you what I'm talking about because it's hard to hear through the wind. Anyway, I did promise you a midweek video where we would announce the names of the winners of the 3 Dodge Brothers hats from the giveaway in the last couple videos. So here we are to do that today, as well as to answer some of your most commonly asked questions over the last couple of weeks. I'm going to answer 4 or 5 of your most commonly asked questions, and then at the end, the Sass family is going to help give away 3 Dodge Brothers hats to thank you for supporting the Be a Light video on their channel. Stick around, here we go. Hey there, thanks for turning down my road. If this is your first time here, my name's Carl. My little brother and I both work for local farmers full-time, but we both also farm together with our cattle herd and our hay operation. Everybody's involved, from the smallest to the biggest. If you don't have the joy of farming yourself, I'd love to help you experience it through this channel. Whatever your background, you found the right place. This is Dodge Brothers Farm and Ranch. A few of you asked me after last week's video about how we attach our barrels for the creek fence that we have down at Dad's pasture, where we use the plastic barrels strung across the creek to keep the cattle in. So I ran down to Dad's a couple days ago and filmed an up-close explanation of how those barrels are attached and how we keep them from sinking. I had a few people wondering in the last video how this system of barrels works in the creek, how we keep them from sinking and from pulling the posts out that they're attached to. Let's go down and I'll show you the barrels and what I did to them. So all the barrels are set up the same. I've got a cable strung through the middle. I've got a 3/4 inch PVC pipe stuck through, and I've got these female connectors on the end to keep the pipe from sliding all the way through. It's got a really tight fit. I did have silicone around it. As you can see, that's kind of peeled off. And then I coated the threads with silicone and tightened the bungs down as tight as I could get them so they're not going to leak. I haven't had any issues with any of the barrels leaking or sinking. See how far I can get down here without getting into trouble. But like I say, they're all the same. You can see the pipe going through there in between. Same deal here. Then I've got that cable strung up to the top. We've got the, my brother put these T-posts in the ground with this PVC on it. As the water rises and the barrels come up, it just kind of keeps the cable from pushing clear back against the bridge. It did float up last year in the fall. One time we had a flood and it worked really well. And then this cable is actually tied to the very bottom of this post, and then to the very bottom of the post up on the top of the hill there on that side. So when the barrels come up, they come back and come pretty close to the bridge, but then they come back down to rest pretty much right where they are. Here's a little footage from standing in the same place last October during the flood when the barrels were pretty much as high as I've ever seen them since we've put them in. This is a lot of water coming down through the pasture. We did have some tree limbs come down through, and it didn't hurt anything. Obviously, to get any water in the barrels, they would have to sink down to the middle point of the barrel where the water could leak in around that 3/4 inch PVC, since the silicone is tore up around there. And it would take a lot of weight pushing down on that barrel to sink it past the halfway point. A lot of weight, and there's 33 of them, so it works pretty good. It worked amazing last year. This is the only thing we found that has worked really well for a creek fence underneath that bridge. Now, a fair amount of people have asked me, what's the oldest tractor on the farm? That's no contest at all. It's not the Oliver, it's not the Massey, it's not the Alice Chalmers. It is by far and away the Rumley oil pull. It's a model 1630 made in 1923, And here's some footage of it running earlier this year while I was getting the planter ready. Take a look at this cool old tractor. Fun fact, the reason it's called an oil pull is because the engine is cooled by oil that's pumped through a radiator that's housed inside the exhaust flue. If we look down in there, you can see where the exhaust pipe blows the exhaust up and creates a draft through the exhaust flue and pulls the air up through the radiators to cool that oil and cool the engine. Check this out. Some people have asked me why we put oat seed in with the lawn seed when we seeded this section of lawn. I mean, look at this. I'm pretty excited at how well it's coming. It's doing well. So here's why we put oats in. In our part of the world, in northern Iowa, it's not a very good idea to seed lawn in the spring. It works best in late summer or early fall. But last fall, we had this all killed and ready to till up, and it was just way too wet all fall to get it done. So we had to do it this spring, or we're gonna have to wait till the end of the summer. And I didn't want to wait because conditions were great this spring. It was nice and dry. We were able to do a good job, but the lawn seed does not come up as vigorously as weeds do. So usually when you seed your lawn in the spring, you have a lot of trouble with weeds. You're also not able to spray right away for weeds in this young seeding. So what a lot of guys will do, myself included, is put in some more vigorous grass like oats, rye, some grass-like plant, and put that in as a cover crop, and that comes up and helps choke out the weeds as the lawn is coming up through it. It won't affect the lawn's ability to grow, and it won't be here next year as long as we don't let the oats go to seed. I've got to get them clipped off before they go to seed and replant themselves. Take a look up close here. You can definitely see the difference. The oats are very tall and thicker, and then the lawn is very thin and wispy, but it's coming up really nice, looking really good, and I think we're gonna end up with a good chunk of lawn right here. I've had a couple good questions about waterways since I did the video where we were seeding the new waterways. The guy was out with the bulldozer, sculpting them and shaping them, and then we were seeding grass seed into them and putting those felt strips across to prevent erosion before the grass took hold. So here we are, up here at the one field where we were seeding one of the waterways in that video, and you can see that waterway grass is really taking off. Take a look at that, would you? That's one of the brand new waterways that we were making and seeding down in that video I was just talking about. Probably the question I get the most frequently about waterways is how do you decide where you're gonna put them, and why do you seed them down with grass? What is the purpose of a grass waterway? So if you look at this new waterway that we made this year, you can see that there's a hill on this side and a hill on this side, and it naturally comes down into a valley in between those two side hills. So really all we had to do here was kind of sculpt the shape of the waterway to draw the water right down into the middle of it, give it a path down here to drain into the road ditch. And what this waterway does with the grass is it actually slows the water down coming down through the grass, and the roots of that grass hold the dirt in place and keep it from eroding. This is a place that water would naturally be running down through anyway. We just sculpted it and shaped it to direct the water where we wanted it to go and seeded it down to hold that dirt in place. Another cool thing that the grass waterways are able to do is kind of act as a filter. So not only do they hold the dirt in place in the valley where the water's naturally going to run, but they're also able to filter out some of the dirt that's suspended in the water as it's flowing and sheeting off in a major rain event. Grass waterways, you gotta have them. So check out this cool footage of the Rumley oil pull. Man, this is going to be a great video. I'm excited. I better check with Mary Pat and make sure she can do the drawing. Hello, Mary Pat? Yeah, this is Carl from Dodge Brothers. Hey, I was wondering if you and Josh would want to help do the drawing for our Dodge Brothers hats for the people that went and watched the video on your channel. You would? Okay, awesome. Here's what I'm going to do. No, you don't have to worry about any of that. I already entered all of those hundreds of names into a spreadsheet and had it randomly select 3 people, so I'll just send those 3 names to you. And oh, you're worried about people noticing? No, I don't think nobody's going to notice that you've only got 3 names in the bucket. Nah, nobody will notice that. They'll think you're really doing the drawing. It'll be awesome. Okay, thanks a lot, Mary Pat. Look forward to it. Bye-bye. A while back, I made a video about why farmers bale corn stalks, and a few people asked me if you could use corn stalks to mulch your garden. And the answer is yes, you can use corn stalks to mulch your garden. Now, does it work very good? I have no idea. This is the first time we've ever tried it. Now, one of the things I was the most concerned about was the corn stalks blowing away in the wind or blowing all over and filling in the rows. But we've had a couple of pretty serious windstorms since we mulched this. And given that they've been matted down from the rain, they really haven't gone anywhere. I was concerned about that. So I think it should be pretty good ground cover to keep the weeds down. We have had trouble keeping the weeds down in our garden in previous years, and hopefully this will really help, at least to lessen the burden of weeding in this garden throughout the summer. Well, I hope you enjoyed some of the answers to your questions coming in video form. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I may do this more in the future. It's kind of a fun way to interact with you guys and show you the answers to some of your questions instead of just answering them all in the comment section. Okay, now it's time to give away 3 Dodge Brothers hats. How cool is that? That's awesome. So I'm gonna let Mary Pat and Josh Sass give away these 3 hats, because the reason you're getting hats is because you went and supported the Be a Light video on their channel that our family was a part of. It was really fun to do, wasn't it, Kaylee? All right, so Mary Pat, go for it.
Hey, wait. I need your help.
With what?
I need you to draw 3 people for Carl's hat drawing.
Okay.
Wait, hold, what are you doing?
I'm drawing 3 people.
Really? It's too early for that. I meant draw people.
Okay. Tim Duthie? Duthie? That's uno. Curt Higgins? Numero dos. Peter Griffin.
Congratulations, you guys! Thanks for stopping by our channel and watching the Be a Light video. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot, guys. That was a lot of fun. So if you are Tim or Peter or Kurt, shoot me an email at dodgebrothersfarm@gmail.com. I'll get the details for shipping, and we'll ship you your very own Dodge Brothers hat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for riding along, and we'll see you next time.